deciding to cook a home cooked meal for myself.
No,
She's
not about
So what? And we will go to Capitol Grill on another day. We went out last.
Richard, take me out and do more.
I'm keeping my word.
No,
you haven't even.
Your word.
You haven't.
No,
even,
you're not.
You don't even know that yet.
No. Listen. You see this?
I see it. It's amazing.
It looks amazing.
It looks amazing.
It looks black, brown, crusty, dusty.
It looks like you just want something to complain about to me.
It's not that I want something to complain about, but I expect you to stick by your word.
I am sticking by my word.
No, this is our second
exactly.
Day,
so how do you know?
And we're not going.
How do you know that though?
Because I'm here. What do you mean? No. Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate the effort of you cooking,
right.
But I wanted to go out with you. I want to have
fun. And we will, but I wanted to cook for you.
No,
I want to show you that. I want to show you versatility. It's easy for me to take you out.
This is too no.
Yes, it's easy for me to take you out.
Okay, it's easy because
it takes a lot more thought to cook for somebody, right? That's what I'm saying.
I do not want this. You get me? I don't want this. I expected more from you, and that's that. Like, come on.
So you wait until I cook up this meal just for you to decide.
I didn't even know you was coming.
I told you we were coming to my house. What did you think?
We're going to the Capitol Grill,
and we will go there eventually. But tonight you're at David's house eating my dinner.
So that means what? You do not keep your word, right?
I do keep my word.
You do not keep your word.
If I didn't keep my word, why would? If I didn't keep my word, how did I keep it?
Don't have it. Just say you don't have it.
I absolutely have it.
Actually, tell me and have me expect maybe. Okay, I don't have it. I'm gonna cook something cute for her. She might like it. No, but you had to come over here expecting we're going somewhere. We're not actually going. I don't like that. I don't. I can have you do more for me than what you want to be. No.
Well, guess what? Guess what? You're with me right now. Okay. Yes, we are on a date right now.
Exactly.
They didn't make the cut, and I did.
I'm with you right
they
now.
must have not did something right. I didn't lie to you about anything.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You told me to go to the Capitol Grill.
And we will go to the Capitol Grill, but I decided to cook for you this time.
I need you to stick by your word.
I do. I always stick by my word.
No, you're not. No, you are not.
You were just over here complaining. You haven't even had one bite of this food.
I don't want to have
You haven't even taken one bite out of it.
I expected to have.
Wow.
I expected more.
You shouldn't be expecting stuff so early on.
You shouldn't be lying to me so early.
I didn't lie. I didn't lie.
You shouldn't be lying to me so early.
I didn't lie about anything.
I'm here for a reason, right?
This is the second day.
I'm here for a reason, right? I'm here for a reason,
yeah,
right?
because you want to be here.
I expected to go to the Capitol Grill. Okay, I want to go out. I want to sit in. Okay, you should have told me that. You should communicate.
I communicated
like
with you.
Men too, like these y'all don't communicate. Y'all want to stay at your house so much y'all don't. I can really pull up and take money back for
why don't you go with them then?
Okay.
Why don't you go with them?
You're right.
Since they are so much better than me, then why don't you go with them?
It's about them keeping the stack and you keeping the zero.
I kept it. This is my house. I own this house. Okay.
You own this house?
Yes, I own this house.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. And I decided
to own a house. You can keep your word too.
I absolutely can.
So like you started to lease the mortgage, you can.
You are ungrateful. You are ungrateful.
I'm not ungrateful.
You're ungrateful.
You are a liar.
You are ungrateful. I didn't lie about nothing. You're ungrateful.
You're false. You probably.
Forget it. Just you know what? Yeah, just forget it. Just give me my food back. Yeah, give me my food back. I will cook it for another woman. That she'll be appreciative. Because you know what? You ain't the woman for me.
Right.
Yeah. You do that. So y'all tell me what's so bad about me deciding to cook a home.
Bro, we got what? 20 minutes? Let's break it down, bro. Talk to me, bro.
It's a mess. Before I go into what I think is right or wrong, right? Just looking at their behavior, it's a mess. It's too much. Too much talking. Like all this back and forth, it's not necessary, right? It's just too much. Now, you know me, I call a spade a spade. Right now she's throwing a tantrum. Right now she's being a bit much. She doesn't need to start picking at certain things if they ain't got it and things like that. It's only gonna trigger a certain response. However.
I hear you on the however.
If this is my bro, I would say to him, don't be an idiot. Straight up. If you have said to her that you're going to a restaurant, if you have led her to believe, to think that she's going to a restaurant, maybe you just said you're going to have some grill tonight. Maybe you didn't say you're actually going to go to a restaurant, so you're trying to play the semantics games. No problem. But she's led to believe, this is the second date, right? That she's going to. My bro, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He is in the wrong. He is
Yeah.
absolutely in the wrong. That's ridiculous. Like, she has every right to say, like, no, I expected to go to a restaurant and that's what I wanted us to do and us to go. I appreciate what you did, but this wasn't the time for it. That's it. You know, what did she say? She thought she was gonna come to the door and then go. That means to me is that she hasn't really had that experience where she's just chilling in his house. This is the second date. So for me, this guy's all wrong. Like, it's guys, if you're watching this, do not do that. Do not even try to test a woman like that. That is deception. Don't even do that. Just if you're saying you're gonna go to a restaurant, just go. Enjoy. Now, if he didn't have the money, because sometimes it gets like that. Sometimes it happens. I've been in those situations many years ago. All you need to say is, you know what? I ain't got it right now. Maybe we can go next week. But what we can do, invite you to my house and I'll cook you a meal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at least that ahead of time would stop a situation like this. Now, she didn't want to do that. Then she has every right to say, no, I don't want to go to your house. I'll wait until we're able to go for a meal. I'm not even going to say she can pay for it. No. Second date. No. Let's wait till the next week. Then let's go for a meal. That's it. Like, there's simple solutions here. Simple solutions here. This guy, guys, please, if I stop talking, don't do this. Don't do this.
Don't do this. Don't do this. Yeah, bro, I'm with you, bro. Listen, when I watched it, like, when I watched it, it's really interesting because the Instagram comments are on his side, which is really weird. Women and men are coming at the girl, which is really weird. It's like, I was so surprised by how many people missed the context of the actual conversation. Like, often women are quite good at spotting things, but this one, it's as if they got caught up with her energy. And let's not be honest. Let's be honest. We can talk about her energy, and maybe that would mean there are deeper things that are to be discussed, right? So I can definitely take that. But I was so surprised to see how many women, and the men I expected, because when they're on internet, the men are the men. But the women, I was so surprised by how many women decided to take the man's side and talk about how how she was reacting. Now listen, again, we can talk about her reaction in a second or two, but the reality is, if we listen to the context, you listen to the context of the situation. Number one, it's a second date, right? It's a second date. This is the first point. It's a second date. Okay. Number two, you did lie. Like, there was no semantics this one. So he lied, right? He told her she's going. He told her and promised her and said, we are gonna go to Capital Grill, okay? And then changed his mind without contacting her, without communicating. And when she came to the house, that's when she knew that we're now no longer going to Capital Grill. At that point, Negro, not only have you lied, you're now a potential physical scare. I barely know you. Okay? All right? And then you're asking me to stay in the house. Like, yo, it could be a little bit of a safety order here. You know what I mean? But, this situation, when I heard it, I was like, wait, hold on. He's lied. You know what I mean? If you tell me we're going to Capital Grill or we're going to this restaurant, I get to your house and you tell me, well, things do change. So I've cooked you a meal instead. I'm looking at you like, are you all right? Why? Why are you doing that? You know what I mean? So you got to stand upon your word first and foremost. To have the audacity to lose your rag and film her, and of course, I think it's a skit. I'll be honest, I think it is. But then to film her and lose your own rag about the situation, I was like, bruv, I was like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, why did you think it'll be okay to change your mind last second and then think she'll be okay with it? It's your second date, and you thought by saying you want to switch out by saying I can cook for you was going to be a good alternative. Makes no sense.
And you know what? You mentioned that you think it's a skit. You know what? I don't mind if it is a skit, because these are situations that I'm not saying they.
Real life.
Well, yeah. And there's men out there that will say this is where I can test who I'm dating. Right, so it's cool. Like, we can talk about it. This is not what you do, guys. This is not what you do. You don't test by deception. You don't do that. It's the wrong way to go about it. So any woman that has this experience can say, no, you lied to me about something so silly. Like, I was looking forward to something, and you lied to me. and tried to make out that this is the better option. It may be a nice option, but this wasn't for today. Like to me, guys, don't do that. Don't. Yeah. And women already have a problem with guys actually telling the truth, right? Guys being honest. So depending on what she's been through, she might look at this and be like, oh my gosh, another one. I'll come here expecting something. He's done something else. It's nice, but I'm annoyed. She has every right to be annoyed. You was right. Like, I feel everyone is making comments based off her energy because it's not. She's throwing a tantrum. You know what I mean? Like, she's saying things that some things make sense, but you can see that she's throwing a tantrum. She's not dealing with things in a proper, mature way, right? But either way, he's in the wrong. He's completely in the wrong. So, do you know what, bro? If there's a third date after this, I'll say to both of them that you're stupid. Don't.
Yeah, you're wasting your time.
Yeah, don't.
You're wasting your time. You know, I think both of them and both of them. This actually exposes deep-seated rooted issues on both ends, right? Because he might be testing her, and if you're testing someone before you start a relationship, you're going to be probably manipulative and controlling in a relationship later on, and insecure, right? And for her too, at the same time, why the hell did you stick around, sis? You're sitting by the plate. No, let's deep it. She's sitting with the plate with a fork. The fork is dangling dangerously close to the food, as if you're ready to eat. She's hungry. So all the talking she's doing, she's even dangerously dangling close to the food. You know what I mean? So and she didn't need to go as far. She didn't need to remonstrate as far as she did. Not because she can't, but because it's a waste of time. And actually, what it does show now is that there are other issues affecting you in terms of maybe past men or whatever that you're now dumping onto him, because really and truly your response should have been, we're not going anywhere. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to take my stuff and I'm going to walk out the house. Thank you. Done. But you wanted to sit there and have an argument, you know? So you wanted to argue back and forth with him. You know what I mean? You wanted to go back and forth. You wanted to have that tactile, energy with him. So you're drawn to that a little bit, right? So that speaks for her as well. So he's testing by deception, and he's got deeper, darker, manipulative, probably controlling, insecure issues that he's dealing with, and she likes to argue, right? And remonstrate, and probably there might be some issues when it comes to men, and that's why she's heaping all the argument now onto him in the situation, because it really should have been fork down, get up, I'm out the yard.
Bro, how are we able to see this? Like, why is he filming this? Why does he want to embarrass her to that level?
Oh, good question.
Well, what's going on with you, bro?
That's dangerous as well.
What point was you trying to make? A woman that you brought to your house. So what was your plan? What was going on? You wanted to make her look foolish when you're the one in the wrong. But this is an example of the type of people you have around you, because what his boys have said, that's the right thing to do. We didn't even discuss it with his boys. Like, to me, that's another area of manipulation. And what was you really trying to do? And at the same time, you see the guy's got the phone out. Leave. You don't need to be there arguing with him for the camera, not even knowing what he's going to do with the recording. Like, this is where, and I always say this, this might even be a meme or a t-shirt of mine, conflict resolution. This is how they're going to resolve conflict if they got into a relationship. No, it'll be a calamity. Because first of all, look at what they're arguing over. I get the principle, but look at this back and forth. Like you said, bro, she's still sitting down, engaging in this argument. He's getting his phone out and recording it and antagonizing the situation. Really, you can see she's upset, but he's still continuing. Like, this is a mess. This is a mess, bro.
Honestly, it's fitting real, bro. And I think the fact that I'm going through the comments now. Yeah, I'm looking at the comments. Maybe I can even bring them up to see that. And I'm bewildered. I think I'm generally I expect women to take women's side, innit? You know what I mean? Normally I expect women to take women's side. I expect the men to take men's side. It is what it is. We're human beings. But the way that people are literally on against the girl, it's bewildering for me, because it's like, did you miss the context of what was being said? Like, usually, even when women are wrong, women will stick to their women's. But on this occasion, I don't know what's going on that the women have literally seen it so differently. And I think it's to do with the fact that he cooked a meal. But it's like, did you miss the context of the original statement? It's making me look at some of these women a little bit like, did you hear what he said? Like, it's a second date and he's lied. No, it generally is a lie, because you told her you were going to go to Cabot Grove and then you've let her come to the house and then you cooked a meal and try to cover it up, right? Call it a white lie if you want to call it that, but it's a lie. So it's like, how are people missing it? You know what I mean?
There's an example of how you miss red flags. because you're looking at, oh, but that's so nice, but look what he did in that process, and look how he's now treating her because of what he did. Fair enough, yes, the way she's behaving is not the best way to deal with things. I understand that, but he wanted to put her on blast for something that he did.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous to me. Like, and yeah, and I get it. You know, people looking at us. I was reading some of the comments as well. People, oh my gosh, you cooked me a nice meal. I don't see these types of romantic men anymore, etc. But like you're saying, bro, it's the context of it. That wasn't the plan. She led him to believe, you know, something. Look, imagine if she came into the house and there was candlelight, flowers, all these things. She may have given a different response. But all she had was what? Steak, mash, and what? Green beans.
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid in
the wine glass.
I mean,
and that's what I'm saying. I don't know how they miss it. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how they're missing it. I just don't know. I don't know how they're missing it. I think it's because the video also is 3 to 4 minutes long. You know, and we know our generation's attention span is a little bit, you know, right? So probably watching it a second time or third time might have been out of the question to get more details. But the first thing I heard, as soon as I watched it, the first thing I heard was, second date, you said you want to go on Capitol Grill. That's what I heard straight away. So I'm like, well, if that's the premise of the situation, everything else from that point is downhill. You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't even be here. We should be at Capitol Grill. You know what I mean? I think I actually did a response video for this, a solo one, and I spoke about it. I said, if you're a man and this is what you do, you're gonna be single. Yeah. You are going to be single. Yeah. This is what we're saying about men needing to learn how to socialize. This shouldn't be happening. This. And if it was my sister, I would tell her, run fast. Very fast. If that's my sister, I'm gonna tell you to run. Don't even give him a third date. Because if he can't comprehend in this moment now as a second date that when he told you we're going to Capitol Grill and he changes it at this moment, he will do the same later on in the relationship. You'll find him saying something and he will switch it around again and say, well, how can you not be happy? I've given you an alternative. But in reality, he has never asked you whether you wanted that alternative or not. He does not consider you. He expects that whatever he gives you, you should be grateful for. And that is a problem. Whenever you see a man who does that, you will be very wary of those type of men. Be very careful of those type of men. You've got to run.
Preach, bro, preach. Because the way I look at it, and some people can say maybe we're saying a bit too much, but end of the day, this is him trying to control the situation. Yeah. And controlling the situation, like he said, you should be grateful because I did something nice. He did do something nice, but it wasn't the situation that you should have done that in. You know, at least he could have even you could have made it a lot more nicer. But it was very basic. Let's be honest, bro. It was very basic. So, do you know what? Because I've even in situations where I've spoken to him and I said certain things, we have to understand a woman's mind. She's looking at this coming into a basic situation. She might feel I deserve better than this. You know, is this? Yeah, you brought me into your house to have this food, but this is just basic. What he did, you can do at any time. That isn't a date.
That's the point. Yeah,
that isn't a date. There's no candlelights. There's no all these types of things. This is what you do was very basic. So they've gone out for an activity. They've come back home to have a meal. That's it. You know. So to me, that's a disappointing thing for me because, you know, if it's your second date, I'm not gonna talk about you have to impress her or stuff. That's a different conversation. I'm just gonna say that's not what you should have done. Yeah. You know, if you genuinely like this girl, you have to understand how she wants to be made to feel. You should have gone to the Capitol Grill or. Do you know what I mean? I don't even think the way she was dressed. I don't even think that's even a posh place in America. You can tell us, because we don't know. But she expected to be wined and dined. She expected to be treated. You know, not given something basic. So I'm on her side. Like everyone coming after her, I get it, but to me, it's the wrong attitude.
Yeah, you know, and I think, and like I said, because I was looking at the comments, you know, I think the emphasis is on him cooking a meal, and this. You know, I think the emphasis is on the cooking, him cooking the meal, and her energy in response to cooking the meal. And I think this is very much a representation of what happens in arguments with people and how to resolve conflict, because this is an aspect of conflict resolution as well, in a sense, right? It's got many layers to it, but we can take it from a conflict resolution perspective. Most people didn't hear the conflict; they only heard the elevated voice. And then they heard things that were what they wanted to hear, right? So I want to hear that a man wants to take me out, he wants to cook for me, and so therefore, automatically, the woman's response now becomes a problem. By the way, like I said, I'm not saying that the woman's innocent all the way. I'm just saying that in the majority of blame does lie on his head because he was a perpetrator of saying this is what we're going to do. You know, so inevitably, inevitably, when everyone's missing it, it means that's how we're probably going to operate when it comes to conflict resolution. You're going to hear the emotion and not what the fact of the matter of person is saying. So in this situation, listening more carefully, what is the issue? The issue is that he said something that they were going to do. Point blank, period. And if you just take into account all the steps before we get to this place where she's at the house, why doesn't he text her? Why doesn't he message her? Why doesn't he let her know, babe, plans have changed. Would you want to come over? I'm going to cook a meal, right? All of that could have happened before she got to the crib and to the yard. Because let me just say this now. Steak ain't a quick thing. So the steak look wham. So that steak is thick, which means you had enough time to cook the steak, get the potatoes, get the greens, get the juice into the glass. That's a good hour or so preparation plus cooking, probably even longer, which means you had enough time to let her know. And what we're saying is, for those of us who call men to be leaders, this is an aspect of leadership in communication. You should communicate this. And the fact that you have the audacity to be annoyed when she says, this is not what I want now, because you promised X, Y, and Z, tells me this is how also you're going to handle situations of conflict in a relationship. You didn't hear what was being said. You've made a mistake. And actually, these type of men are dangerous too, because they'll never admit their fault, right? And you hear women say this, I dated a man that has no accountability. Well, baby, if on this moment here, on the second date, he made a mistake and he doesn't admit he made a mistake, yeah, get your ass out of there. Like, don't ignore the red flag and be like, well, no, there's no get out of there. Because simply put, it should have been a simple message and text. He ain't done it. You get to the house, and now one could almost even say, I'm not saying it is. I'm saying one could even almost say he's gaslit the situation. One could even almost say that he's intentionally created an argument to make you the bad person. And if I'm talking about dark arts, that kind of stuff is real. It does happen. People will intentionally make you feel bad. And this is a slippery slope of manipulation that's about to start happening. You're going to always feel bad for things. He's going to make you start feeling bad for things, make you feel bad for things. You know what I mean? So, yeah, them things there.
You know what? Because we're running out of time, I'm gonna come at a different angle, and I'm gonna do a quick story, bro. Right? So, in fact, let me give you the story first. So, there was a time, right, where I booked a nice restaurant for someone, and I said, all right, where this restaurant was called, the restaurant's called Gaucho. I don't know if anyone in America knows that restaurant is, but it's a posh restaurant, right? So I said, all right, let's go away from the area. Let's go all the way across London to an area that's known as like one of the poshest areas in London. So I booked it. When we got there, I couldn't find the place, right? I was struggling to find a place, going around for 5 minutes thinking what's going on. Eventually I saw a sign and it was going downstairs. Now, if you know this type of restaurant, it's in unusual places. It could be downstairs, it could be upstairs. So I thought there's nothing wrong. When we came to sit down, I'm looking at the surroundings, I'm looking at the menu, I'm looking at the way people are dressed, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? Like, this is not what I think it is. And I was in like a waistcoat, shirt, trousers. She was like properly dressed up because it was her birthday. Then I looked at the menu properly and I saw that it wasn't the Gauchos, the posh restaurant. It was some other bargain basement Gauchos something version. So here we are, properly dressed up around, people dressed casual in shorts, everything. Now, the reason why I say I'm going to throw a spanner in the works is because her response to me wasn't to get angry, upset, frustrated, or just do the most. Now, don't get me wrong. How she turned out was that person. But in this moment, this is her birthday. She didn't do that. And I said to her, do you know what? I'm sorry about this. Do you want to leave? She's like, no. I'm thinking, okay. So I'm looking at the menu. I'm looking around. The waiter comes. I'm like, okay. I say, no, hold on. Come back 5 minutes. So I said to her, do you want to leave? She said, no. With wisdom, I said, nah, I need to deal with the situation. So I took her hand and said, let's go. And then quickly on the way, I booked some other posh restaurant that was in like Mayfair, Central London, and it was a great time. So I'm throwing a spanner in the works, as in, if she had behaved differently, what do you think he would have done? What do you think, bro? Let's go.
Do I need to say anything?
They want to know, bro. They want to know.
I don't need to say anything. I think we already know. I think it's pretty obvious.
Okay. So I say sometimes, ladies, do I want to say this? Yeah, you can make your case known without doing all of that.
Yes, that's absolute truth.
That's it. You can make your case known without making the man, without triggering the man. That's it. You can make your case known. Now, we don't know how he would have responded. Like, I can't lie. The way he sounded doing that, I don't feel he's the type of guy that would have said,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, let's just go somewhere. I don't feel he's that type of guy, to be honest with you. So she didn't pick the greatest guy. But as a man, if you've made the lady look forward to something, and even though you've made a mistake and it hasn't been exactly what you wanted it to be, if you can save the day, go ahead and do it. That's an aspect of leadership. This is why children look at their fathers as heroes. Like, women want to look at their men as heroes. Want to look at their man. He's my Superman. He made a mistake, but he fixed it. This wasn't what he thought it was. And I didn't. I was okay, but he said, no, you deserve better. And that would have got him so many points. Not this. Like, to me personally, any woman, like you're saying, bro, any woman who would say, okay, I would appreciate that, let me date this guy, you're in for, that's a walking disaster right there. Because he's going to repeat that same behavior. He's going to repeat that pattern. Because right now he feels justified. And everyone on the net who's justifying this, he's not going to walk around and say, yeah, I got one. See what I mean about these women? These women are like ABC. When he was in the wrong from the minute one, from the moment he didn't communicate and say, change your plans, he was in the wrong. That's my thoughts on it, man.
No, man. And I'll just to add before we get off as well, like, I think in reality, as well, old girl, she'll have to learn as well that there's a better way to handle a situation like this. You know what I mean? Going back and forth with someone like this ain't necessary. You know what I mean? Like, because it's so early in a relationship and you don't really have that. Like, if you're friends before and then you're on a second date, you already have context of who this person is. But without context, babe, I'll be like, listen, darling, keep the conversational chat short. I need to grab something from my car. And you're off. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, as you're talking, you're Ubering. Yeah. Yeah. So you're out of there, because anything else, it could turn nasty when you don't know who this person is. We're in a day and age, unfortunately. And, if you're a genuine guy, you shouldn't feel too pressed about it. You understand that, listen, the world is a very dangerous thing. So, I wouldn't have no problem with that. At the end of the day, it can easily be a dangerous situation. So I'm saying for her, like, the danger is real, but two, also, you reacting that way tells us a little bit about you as well, about how you handle the disappointment, the hurt, when you didn't go the way that you wanted it to go, right? And I'm not even saying that you have to be like, oh, you know what, it's okay, blah, blah. I'm just saying, like, you could just be like, I hear you, I appreciate it. I mean, I really was coming here for the Capital Grill, and I don't feel comfortable being in this house, like, doing that. It's not what I'm here for. And that's establishing boundaries, you know what I mean? And you're out, and you probably don't have to see that person again, because there's no way this is, again, someone making this kind of mistake. It's very hard. This is not one of those mistakes that, bro, you can say, like, oh, give my brother a chance. This is one of the mistakes you're looking at the person like,
why would you do that?
Why would you do that? It's pure deception. So, I don't know. Yeah, for me, no. So, yeah. Someone said block his number on the way home. Yeah, do what you got to do, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, because that's madness. That's madness. A sensible man should be able to be like, hey, I made a mistake. Sorry about that, or even if he's going to pivot again, you know what? You're right. I cooked a meal trying to think I could do it, to save face, but you know what? You're right. Let's go out. He might have, but now at the point where he's like, he's going to make you look stupid and put camera on you, like you said, bro. That Negro, he will do something later on.
Yeah. Right. Bro, to me, this is an example for ladies, right? This is an example of a man who wants to date women, but there's something inside of him that is ready to display that he doesn't like women at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
You know, because why would you, first of all, why would you decide to be this devious, right? This deceptive. And secondly, when you know that you've done your wrong, you want to film her as well and put her on blast.
Shout out to the OGs.
I can even say you like this person. You know, it don't make sense to me. So
Mm.
ladies, be careful of men who are like this. It's dangerous. And also, I'll say this. For the guys that are watching, things didn't go her way. And even though she wasn't screaming her head off, she was throwing the tantrum, trickled in there was emasculative, verbals, such as if you haven't got it,
Yeah.
right? So that means in an argument, imagine if you're in a more serious argument, these are the things, this is her natural identity. This is her. It will come out. And as a man, if you don't say anything and say, hold on a minute, you can't talk to me that way, to her, that's the normal way of being. So she was jabbing. Like, even before that was halfway down, I said to myself, please, there shouldn't be a third date. Like, both of you don't even talk again after this, because this is ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. Well, listen, audience, as a quick fire one, nice, short and fiery, and hitting all the points real quick, real fast, real deep. We'll start better on time next week. I apologize, guys, but that's my fault. But we're gonna jump on another conversation, because we're gonna go to a panel talk in about 15 minutes. It's gonna kick off, but we'll be behind the scenes. So if you haven't already, listen, make sure you guys join us on the panel conversation, Black British UK panel. Today we're talking about Instagram ruining relationships, and also talking about daddy issues in dating as well. So we're gonna get some deep conversations later on today. So make sure you join us for the next 2 hours in that live. Come and join us. Come have your say. Come have your questions. We're gonna have a real conversation. All right. So much appreciation. We'll see you again next week, Wednesday, myself and Jay, and we'll talk some real stuff as well. All right. So listen, I appreciate you. Don't do.
Not on my